Boston sports. Boston sports. And it is all we do. 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Game 7, Boston trails by 2. It's been a battle all night, and for many in this building, this feels like the end. But Leroy and Cerrone, they've been here before. Leroy lurking, eyes locked in, and oh, he pulls it loose! He's got the steal with 5 seconds left. He looks up, finds Cerrone. Cerrone catches, steps into it. A 3 for the win! He hit it! Cerrone from downtown. Leroy to Cerrone. They have done it again. They've done it again.
Because I said I got an itch. I don't want people. You know how people get, Cerrone. You know how people get. Ooh, Leroy said he got an itch. An itch like dry skin, maybe a dry scalp. Don't go too much further than that, please. What's up, Cerrone? How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. It's a shame that we live in a time where you got to clean up or explain what you said.
I know.
You know, there was a time I could say, you know, I want to hear the scratch in the song because I got an itch, and that would just be it. And it just would be. Cerrone, yesterday I was watching a different world on Netflix. And there's an episode where one of the characters enters the army. And Wade was cool with this dude. And he set up a party for the guy, and he was like, all right, come on, we got to get things together, clean things up, blah, blah, blah. And when the guy showed up, they gave each other a hug, a big old hug, a warm embrace.
Mm-hmm.
We thought nothing of it back then. But today, people would have something to say.
Pause.
Which is the most immature and worst game going on social media. Someone can say something extremely profound, life-changing, and here comes somebody. Pause. Anyways, I didn't mean to get started like that. Welcome, everybody. The phone number is 617-779-0985. It feels really, really good, Cerrone.
Are you giving out your number? Pause. Just kidding.
All right. You scared me for a second. Like, did I give out my number?
No, I'm just saying.
But that's
giving out his number to everybody.
Look at him. Giving out his number like a sucker. Shut up. 617-779-0985. I really thought for a second I gave out my personal number, which has happened
you didn't.
before. I had to get a new number. It's great to walk in here today and see the news about the Connecticut Sun. Have you seen it, Cerrone?
I just caught the headline there from Murray.
Okay, we're going to have to touch on that later, too. But before we do that, and we got a lot of stuff lined up, of course, the Patriots, of course, the Red Sox. Last night, Apple Plus, so your boy got to watch, finally.
Man, I'm glad you mentioned that.
Let's get into all that. But
I'm glad you mentioned that.
It's time for the music of the day, which has become something that a lot of people look forward to. I'm going to keep it very simple because it's a very, very simple reason why. It's going to be Common today, the rapper Common.
Like the NBA and TNT and the NHL on watching it on HBO Max. Mm-hmm. I think it gives it's a clearer picture, and I think you get better audio from it as well. But last night watching the Sox on Apple, the little graphics they put in the corner, little small things, like with every pitch, it shows the probabilities in this, like the stats change by the minute. Like Roman Anthony at the play, when he gets down 0-1, like before the first pitch, hit probabilities at 40%. After the first pitch strike, down 0-1, his hit probability drops down to 28%. It was changing like that in the corner. You know what I'm saying? Runnings in scoring position, the percentage goes up. On base percentage, it just puts those little things in the corner, and it changes. And I think late in the game, as that game was tight, the last few innings, it was tight the whole game. For both sides, it kind of added intrigue to the game. Like, oh man, he's only a 12% hitter in these situations, and it's like it added in I would say intensity, suspense. It added more suspense to the game. Little things like that, and some of the camera angles they were using. Oh yeah, it was like, okay, this is a pretty cool presentation. I kind of dig this.
Yeah, some of the camera angles where they were around a group of fans. I was like, all right, you're hanging with those group of fans a little bit too long. But I'm with you, Cerrone. I thought the presentation was clean. It wasn't the absolute best.
Yeah.
I still think NBC got that on lock. But it was cool.
Think they're better than Fox?
Presentation wise?
Yeah.
I think we're going to be reminded how great NBC is with it when the NBA gets back on NBC. I think
and the Olympics. When you watch the Olympics, you see the difference. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
But as far as the game, unbelievable game. I know for a lot of people, they want to see a lot of offense and the fireworks and all that, but it was a low-scoring game. Pitchers were doing their thing. I thought the Astros were going to pull Brown because he started falling apart, in my opinion, in the seventh inning. He started getting a little shaky, and I'm like, oh, boy, here come the Red Sox. He hit somebody. Who else did he hit? I want to say.
He hit Yoshida in the arm, in the forearm.
And I said, oh, boy, here we go. Mm-hmm. The Red Sox did tie it in that inning. But then at the 10th inning, Roman Anthony.
And a flying ball to center field. That will end it. McCormick goes all the way back. It's over his head on the warning track. Roman Anthony's first career walk-off hit helps the Red Sox beat the Astros in Boston.
Roman, I'm calling him Roman Reigns because dude's he's on to something. He's going somewhere. Cerrone, did you notice how loud the crowd was at the end of that call? And rightfully so.
Before that, the crowd was fired up. And the broadcast team made a good point of that as it was key situations late in that game where the crowd was really into it and they were zooming in on some of the fans. Yep. The dude with the shirt, man, he had the red shirt with the different, it was like trios of Red Sox players.
Yep.
Man, that dude was all over the stadium, man. Shout out to him, whoever knows who he is. But he was getting the crowd into it. But that's what happens when you're a competitive team. Well, that's what you see when your team is I wouldn't say a true contender, but when you're better than average, that's what you get from a Boston fan base.
I smiled at the end of the game, but then my smile instantly turned into a frown.
Why is that?
Because I heard all the cheering.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that the place was packed out, even though it wasn't all Red Sox fans. It was a lot of Astro fans. And then I said, oh, that's it. This is why ownership's not going to invest in this team at all.
They don't have to.
They don't have to.
Yeah.
They really don't have to. And the problem is, for me, Cerrone, is as a Boston fan, just say a Boston fan, whether I am highly into the Red Sox or I am just somebody who is like, listen, when you put it on Apple Plus and you make it available, I'll check it out. Regardless, most Boston fans are in it to win it all, not to be contenders, not to be on the fringe, not to be right there. We want to see our teams win it all and become champions. And the whole trade talk leading up to the 31st, and when nothing really went down, I still understand why Red Sox fans are highly, highly upset. They virtually did nothing to put this team in the position to win the World Series. I'm not talking about to be in the wild card or fighting for a wild card spot. I'm not talking about
you're already there.
That's great. You're there. But seeing the place packed out, seeing fans going crazy, and I was enjoying the game too. They're not going to change. Nothing is going to change at all. I'm talking about the people up top, over there, Fenway Park. Nothing's going to change. And so I understand why people are disappointed in the team. But I have this feeling, Cerrone, because I just know you. You said something, or you said, and that's why they are, in the position they are. Are you still feeling good about this team?
You know what? I know we're about to take a quick break. We'll get on it on the other side. I don't think I'm as much as the sky is falling as everybody was after they didn't make a deal.
Wow.
I think you have to still say, okay, they didn't make a deal. You still got to keep playing. You still got to keep winning. And it doesn't mean the team that made all the deals are going to get better.
All right. So hold that
but
thought.
We're going to get on that.
Hold that thought. We got to take a quick break. When we get back, you'll have all the time in the world.
Man, we always run out of time.
No, you're going to explain yourself because I know Red Sox Nation is like, There's got to be a portion saying, what is he talking about?
That's right. Majority have to disagree.
They got to feel that way. Anyways, the number is 617-779-0985. I'm Leroy Irvin. He is Cerrone.
More Leroy. local guys, lots of local sports talk. Leroy Irvin and Cerrone battle on Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Teams hate dealing with the Red Sox. They said just very tough to deal with Breslow. Diamondbacks had some momentum going with Merrill Kelly, and that fell apart at the end. I don't think they were ever really in on Joe Ryan. There was some report that was done. I'm not sure they even had conversations. But when you talk to GMs around the game, said just very tough to deal with the Red Sox and Craig Breslow in particular. And if they're really going for it, they did a poor job because the Yankees got a whole lot better. Blue Jays got better. So I think they're going to be on the outside looking in. I think the fact they didn't do anything, they may be sitting home and the Texas Rangers take their place as that wild card team.
It's 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Leroy Irvin, Cerrone battle. That was Bob Nightingale on Foul Territory TV talking about the Red Sox and Cerrone. He sounds like a lot of Red Sox fans. He sounds like a lot of media members who cover the Red Sox that leading up, during, and after the trade deadline, the Red Sox did a horrible, pathetic job. But yet and still, here we are, Cerrone with a totally different take. And Cerrone, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to try to let you convince me why.
I'm
just saying, I don't see how there's light at the end of the tunnel for this team, especially this season.
Well, here's the thing. How much light was at the end of the tunnel in the first place? I think that's where the confusion starts.
I think people saw that there was potential and that with a few good moves could put this team over the hump and make them serious contenders. But when nothing went down, everyone just kind of like, whatever. Yeah, great game last night. Place was packed, but
it's
now
been a roller coaster, man.
Yeah.
But last week on this show, other shows, whatever, everybody was basically like, we know this team isn't a championship team. They can beat up on bad teams. They play good teams. It's not the same. We knew they were a team that might be able to get in a wild card spot and get in, and that's about it. That's the way we all felt about this team. All of a sudden, an hour before the trade deadline, it's World Series team. We just need one piece, baby. And it's like, wait, no, when? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how did we go from a team that might make it to it's the best team in baseball? It's like they were never that close. And I don't think there was there a move out there that legit would have made them better than everybody else in the American League? Like, was there that one move, that one that they didn't make, that said, this is it. Now this is a championship club out here. And I mean, I just think people just wanted more so them to do something for the sake of doing something.
I gotta
like, it wasn't, I don't think there was the blockbuster, like, oh my God, they got Randy Moss and Kevin Garnett type deal.
Right.
That would have put that team ahead of the teams that they're chasing right now. And everybody keeps saying, it's wide open, it's wide open. Is it? Is it really wide open to win the World Series? Like, do you feel that way? And on the flip, you just heard that cut we played, and many people keep saying this, oh man, the Rangers are going to come overtake. The Rangers are what they were before that 10-game win streak. They're a 500 team. Yeah, they made a move. If you blow they're up 7 games, I think, on the Rangers right now. Rangers are 2 games over 500. I think the Red Sox are 9 over, whatever it is, or something like that. If you blow a 7-game lead to a team, you weren't a contender in the first place. You see what I'm saying? Like, okay, you didn't make the deal. Guess what? You got Houston. Win the series, beat Houston. 1 series at a time. Okay, let's get that one. And if you were that good, you're still good enough to compete. Like, I don't think that one move, okay, you get a pitcher in there. Let's say you get an ace. That ace is 1 guy out of 5 games. You see what I'm saying? Like, I think they needed more than what was available for them to be overwhelming, to be a championship quality club. And I think the fans are disappointed because you wanted to see some kind of noise of fireworks, Celtics,
right?
That you wanted this. The team hasn't done the last few deadlines, and it was more of the same. But I think this team is better than the teams in the previous last few years at the deadline where they really didn't do anything and they went down the tank immediately after the deadline. I kind of think this team is better than those teams. are in a better position. And it's similar to what you were saying about the crowd and all those other things. They looked up and said, "Nah, we don't really need to do anything. We can."
I think
we're a good team.
I think that's the problem. I mean, business-wise, they're going to do absolutely fine. But I feel like there's only a certain few cities where being fine, being okay, isn't okay. It's either World Series or nothing. And I'm not
There's only one team going to win it.
I understand it, but you got to be in the conversation. And I think that's what a lot of fans around here are like. Listen, hey, Cerrone, we agree with you. They're a young team. They got some young talent. They got some veterans on there that are helping to lead the way and helping the younger talent develop. And they're playing pretty good baseball right now. It's exciting baseball. It's entertaining baseball. But this is Boston. It's about the World Series. And a lot of fans feel as though the team didn't do enough to get the team, at least to give you hope to think that they could even compete.
But here's the thing, though.
Level.
All the teams that made deals, they're not guaranteed to work.
That's true.
Half of them going to make these teams worse.
I think it's about giving the impression of winning. I think the returns that the Red Sox got were slightly underwhelming. I think we know that the areas of need, pitching, starting pitching, the Super Bowl pen like Carabas and the boys want, and then first baseman. At first base, we went into the season with Tristan Casas or bust. Now we have the platoon experiment of Abraham Toro or Roby Gonzalez. I think that works against lefties and left-handed pitching. I hate seeing them both on the field. First baseman kind of where you stick a glove out there, go ahead and do your thing. But I think for the market for first baseman, you can't really kind of just judge it on the Josh Naylors or the Eugenio Suarez's or the Ryan O'Hearns that actually got traded. There was the Yandy Diaz's of the world with 18 home runs, Tampa Bay. Now, interdivisional, granted, where you have to entice Tampa to the tango. But the Josh Bells of the world, the Carlos Santanas of the world, there were first basemen that were available, and you chose to go the route of Abraham Toro and Romy Gonzalez platoon. That does not sound like a playoff caliber team. I mean, if you look at the lineup routinely, Narvaez, you've had cleanup, Trevor Story cleaning up. So I think there's just a lot of question marks, and having a first baseman, a thumper first baseman, particularly a right-handed bat, which most of these gentlemen are, I think minus Naylor. I don't know if he switch hits. It would have helped put the Red Sox in the right direction, at least perception-wise. The fans can then get on board, and we can rally. I understand this team is winning right now, but I think it's a bad sign when you have an underwhelming trade deadline return the way the Red Sox have had now, and it seems like it's going on a trend now for a half decade. And now you can only hope that they can kind of continue the string for so long because we have question marks on the back end of the rotation. Where's Dustin May going to slot himself? I think he's slightly above Buehler, so he maybe a fourth starter, but I'm waiting for Giolito to crash and burn and become regular Lucas Giolito with a ERA above 5. So I just think it's underwhelming for the team, and they just didn't add, and it sends a bad message to the clubhouse overall.
617-779-0985. Before we go to break, Cerrone,
that's a question about that last part he just said. Go ahead.
I don't believe it. There are people who agree with you. Gabe in West Roxbury, what's going on?
What's up, guys?
What's up?
Love the show. Cerrone, I'm a big fan of you. And, all week it was annoying because Red Sox wanted to trade Duran for a pitcher. They were going after Joe Ryan, but it was not even close. And, the only deal that would have made sense would have been, Duran and prospects for Willie Castro and Joe Ryan. You would have had it. I know people don't like Duran, but with Marcelo Meyer probably out for the year, Duran has been pretty good. And I hate to say this, but it looks like he is a team clubhouse guy. So it was just all a mirage or whatever,
Appreciate it, Gabe. Cerrone, it sounds like you, Gabe, and there are others on the phone. We'll get to them.
The last part he said, I think it's key. I think a lot of it is they looked around the locker room and were the players let's not break up what we're doing here. Do you have to look at the guys you have and say, nah, we just got rid of a guy that everybody got mad about, who we didn't really feel too much in the locker room, and we've been hot ever since.
Yep, you're talking about Devers.
I'm talking about
Are you willing to give up another guy? Locker room morale. Did they all look around we hear our names in these trade talks. I'm glad none of us got traded out of this. Let's see what we can do. We think are a good team who've been playing good baseball. Are any of these moves worth breaking this up and possibly bringing in somebody that just don't fit our clubhouse? That's all. That's all I'm saying.
It sounds like you and others, and we'll get back to the calls too, 617-779-0985. Sounds like the Red Sox have become a trust the process team. That's what it sounds like. Point, that's what, yeah. And I'm just, most Red Sox fans are like, that was never this organization.
I think it's even worse than that because it's always like moving the goalpost for like, oh, next year. It gives that impression at least. At least the process, they at least feigned that they were going to win or were excited, even though we knew that you defended Ben Simmons by, playing them 10 feet back and all that. Nobody was scared of them, So, they were punching back for a long time, but at least they had the impression that they were going to go ahead and make it. The Red Sox, I don't even get that impression. I honestly don't.
But real quick, though, they've played that tough stretch of this schedule. You include Houston into this.
True.
Do it look like they can't play with these teams?
Looks like they can hang. I do give you credit for that.
Like, they can clearly show they can beat the bad teams to stay where they are. It looks like they can hang with the teams that are at the top. They had 3-4 games out and one of the best records in baseball, 64 in the AL, 64 wins, 63 wins, whatever. They're sitting there at 60. They look like they can hang with these teams. Now, I get it. Some of them made moves, and people think those teams are going to really distance themselves. But you got to wait and see how this plays out. Guys going to get hurt. Some of these deals ain't going to work out. You're going to have clubhouse issues. Just because you make a move doesn't guarantee immediate success or even long-term success. In a lot of these cases, some of these moves will be rentals. You give up everything you got now for a shot for a couple months, then it don't work out. Now you got to rebuild everything from the ground up again. I don't know. It just seemed like a lot of people wanted them to make a move for the sake of making a move and feeling better, as opposed to looking at the team and saying, well, they're a pretty good team. Well, this is a good team we got out here, and they've been playing good baseball of late. So I think the Red Sox kind of didn't want to mess up what they had for something that's not really guaranteed.
Well, when we get back, we'll find out how people feel. Do you agree, disagree with what Cerrone's saying? Do you agree or disagree with what the Red Sox did or did not do?
You're listening to Leroy and Cerrone on the Sports Hub.
It's
Now, Leroy Irvin and Cerrone battle. Leroy and Cerrone on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Home.
Well behaved. He smiled just like you, man.
Thank you.
Isn't it a great thing?
Yeah, I feel immortal.
Nothing,
Yeah.
Man. Listen, nothing
Man,
like it.
look, it go by quick, man. How old is he?
6.
He's 6.
Yeah, buddy.
I just left the store getting stuff for my son to go to college in 2 weeks. It goes by fast, man.
God bless. Yeah, he's going into first grade.
Enjoy it,
They do. I feel like I just left Brigham Hospital.
man.
For
That white
4
blanket
years
with
ago.
them red and blue stripes.
Oh, yeah.
It goes
Then I
by
realized I ain't wiped a bunkie in a long time, so it's been a minute. Speaking of wiping bunkies, a lot of people
Pause.
think pause. A lot of people think the Red Sox are bunkie for not making a move before the trade deadline. But Cerrone, guess what? You're not alone. There are a lot of people who feel the same way you do, and that way is it's not a big deal. Am I saying that correct? Is that how you feel, Cerrone?
I would say so. Yeah, I think it's Boston. We always have a sky is falling mentality, and I think a lot of it is due to similar to what George was saying. This has been a theme for the last 4 or 5 years for this team to not do anything and then the team fall apart. I think we're scared they're going to fall apart based off of what happened in previous seasons, and I think there's something about this team is different. Where are they going to win the World Series? I don't know. But I don't think this team is going to quit and fall apart like other teams did. And season was basically over by the time the Patriots start playing. I think we're going to see this team in the mix for a long time. And I feel that, okay, yeah, they didn't make the deal, but you still got to play ball. You still got to keep playing good baseball. You still got to get out there with what you got. And I think what they got is good enough to get you in the playoffs and then see what happens after that. Sometimes things go your way. A pitcher can get hot. A batter can get hot. You just don't know. And I think this team is one of those teams that they just get in. You know, you always hear the team no one wants to play. No one wants to come to Fenway for a playoff series. That's when the real fans show up. You're not going to worry about it's not going to be loud. There's no fans. If this team makes the playoffs, the real fans will show. We always do show up when the team's good. We be sitting up front like we've been there all year. If they get in, the real fans will show up, and this will be a tough place for teams to come in and play at. And it's going to be cooler. All those factors come into play. Yep. But I think they're good enough to get themselves in that position where anything can happen. And if you look at they got the winners and losers. Winners, you got Toronto, you got the Yankees. Yeah, I think those teams had to do something. You know why? Because they feel the Red Sox on their behind. They did it to try and push themselves away from the Red Sox. Like, man, we have to do something or these dudes are going to overtake us. Yankees are only half game up. And if you look at the teams that got the losers, you got the Brewers, I think, leading their division. You got the Red Sox are down as one of the losers, and you have the Dodgers down as one of the losers. But these are all teams that once they get in, you don't want to play some of these teams in the postseason. And I think the teams that made the moves were trying to either catch those teams or distance themselves away from the Red Sox or some of these other clubs that are right on their heels. And I think the Red Sox looked around and looked at their team and said, you know what? Yeah, we got something here. And we got something, and we're not going to interrupt this unless there's something overwhelming out here that we just can't pass up. And I don't know if that was there for them.
And I think a lot of Red Sox fans are saying, hey, Cerrone, I agree with you, but we wanted our Red Sox team to do something in order to try to catch up to those Yankees, to those Blue Jays.
What's Red Sox Nation? We got to do stuff like that to be cool. You know what I'm saying? It's like you want to be a part of the headlines. You want to be a part of the news. The Celtics and the Bruins, the Reds, you don't got to do that to be cool. That's what the Royals and those other this is what minor franchises do to steal headlines. You're the Red Sox. You're 9 games over 500. You're half game behind the Yankees. You just played the series with the Dodgers where you held your own. They're only 4 games better than you and spent $3 billion more than you did. So you should feel like you already in the headlines. They're making moves to distance themselves from you. You already there. You're Red Sox fans. You don't got to look for breaking news to be considered we're back. No, you've been back. You're a good team. Embrace it and enjoy it.
Let's go to the phones. Ron in Philly. What's up, Ron?
Hey, guys, Cerrone, I'm in your corner, brother. And here's why. This is a common thing right here. This is crying about the things you don't have and not appreciating what you do have. Who's the number one pitcher that got dealt in this deadline? I'll let you know. Merrill Kelly. You know who he is? He's 36 years old, and he's going to be on his fourth team now. And everybody's making it out like some team just got an ace. I hate to tell you this, Boston. There was no ace that got moved. Nobody's moving. And by the way, back there with your little Josh Bell, Carlos Santana talk, yeah, they're both hitting 220. Guess what Romy Gonzalez is hitting right now? 293. But nobody wants to look at that. Everybody wants the name because you know who he is, and he just so happened to be good 5 years ago. Everybody just wants something pretty. They can never look at what they have.
How's Romy Gonzalez's glove?
Oh, he's already gone, man.
Yeah, no, it's ugly.
He's already gone. Let me get in a few more before we go to break because they've been holding for a minute. Let's go to Eddie and Dedham. Eddie.
How you doing, guys? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I got a different take on the trade they didn't make for the guy Ryan from Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the guy was really out there to be traded. I think that they dangled him out there thinking that maybe someone would be stupid. Maybe they're looking for a Roman Anthony or Marcelo Maya.
Mm-hmm.
And what my point is, if they really wanted to trade him, they would have traded him. Someone else would have given what they wanted. I think they were asking for too much. They dangled him out there thinking maybe they get someone to be stupid, and the Red Sox didn't fall for it. I bet you they were looking for someone like Roman Anthony and Marcelo Maya.
Appreciate it, Eddie. I've heard a lot of people say that, too. Let's take one more before we go to break. Brian in the car. Brian.
Hey, boys. The only thing that confuses me a little bit, and maybe I'm wrong, is the last couple of years all we heard was we got to let the kids develop in the minors, build up the minors, bring them up, and let them play. Then they get rid of the first baseman out of Worcester, who's batting 308, 22 years old, and under team control for the foreseeable future. And we needed a first baseman. I'm not saying bring him up, but next year, see what he can do in spring training, and we traded him for Scribini. That was a head scratcher to me.
Appreciate it, Brian. We got to take a break. Red Sox fans are hot. The team won last night, but
that's my point.
But it's great. That's last night.
They were losing. How many one-run games did they lose?
It's
early
about
in the season?
playing in October. That's what
this is how you get to October. Beating Houston at home last night.
We shall see. Again, the number is 617-779-0985. Make sure you call up if you want to talk about the Red Sox. Plus, we do have this question, and we'll discuss it next. What's the best and worst trades ever? What tops your list? And what move had you hyped up but flopped? Maybe right here in Boston it happened. Let us know. 617-779-0985. And Red Sox fans, get it off your chest. Hit us up too. It's 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Stay tuned. hot takes. Leroy Irvin and Cerrone battle on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
How to pop lock and I would have been doing it to this. Hey, it's 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Leroy
Never too
Irvin.
late, brother.
It's too late. It's too late. I wake up with my back hurting. How you sleep and not be doing too much and wake up in pain? It's
you know why, man? You're at that age now. I'm saying me too. We're at that age where we got to pay attention to the mattress commercials, man. We got to go get the Posturepedics and the sleep numbers. You got to go. We got to invest in a good mattress, man.
Yeah, and you got to stretch before doing anything.
Before even playing Xbox.
Before taking a step out the bed, you better stretch. Anyways, 98.5 The Sports Hub. The number is 617.
Dang, I used to be so athletic.
779-0985. That's one of the things I know is going to bother me until the day I die, that I didn't use my athleticism to its full capacity. I burnt maybe about 50% of what I could have done.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Just wasted it. And I see my kids now and they think they S. I'm like, I would have roasted every one of y'all.
Off of heart alone.
Exactly. His intensity.
Just off of
anger.
I now understand what Mike Tyson was talking about when he would go on the ring mean mugging and the person across from him, the fighter across from him, couldn't even look him in the face and he said it's over. That's how it would be with my own kids.
Yeah.
The intensity alone would have made them just say, I don't want any part.
He would fold. It's like, I don't know what happened. We failed. That's a little suburban.
Stop it. No, we didn't fail.
Little suburban. They don't know, man. It's I just want to drop them off sometimes blindfolded. Like in Philadelphia with a
block.
Right. It's a random block. Make your way home. With rival colors on.
Speaking of which, you know what? I got a story to tell you. Talk about make your way home. High school, freshman year, freshman football. Belmont High.
Mm-hmm.
I had no money. It was tryouts. I had no money to get home from Belmont. Belmont. You know what a brother did?
I don't even want to know, man.
Cerrone, I walked from Belmont all the way to Dorchester.
Jesus Christ.
And then when I got to Dorchester.
Your parents would be in jail today.
When I got to Dorchester, I saw my father at the bus stop across the street from Burger King right there on Columbia Road and Washington Street.
Yep.
He was like, hey, I'm about to go to church. Come on. Got on. I didn't even tell him what I just did. Just got on the bus with him and went on.
He knew you
church.
needed the Lord after that walk.
I walked from Now, mind you.
You just had to go Mass Ave all the way. Basically.
But I had to take a bus from Belmont High to Harvard Square, get on the train, Harvard Square Red Line, get off at, downtown or Park Street and all that, and get on another train and then get off and then get on the bus to get home. All those steps I had to walk.
So I'm guessing you walked to Harvard and then walked Mass Ave all the way Cambridge in the South End, Back Bay, cross the bridge.
All that stuff.
It's probably mad cold at the time.
And I hope my kids are listening because here's the kicker. Kids, there was no GPS.
You just had to know your way home.
I had to figure it out.
Landmarks.
Exactly. Asking for directions. And I was too proud to ask for directions. I was just going by landmarks. I walked all the way home.
Man, in Belmont, don't they got the buses out there that had the cable on it?
Yeah, but I didn't have money to put on the bus. There was a friend of mine who I was like, dog, I just need some change to at least get on the bus.
Nah.
And he said, I got you. And then when the bus came, he jumped on and laughed at me out the window. See how you're laughing? That's cold-blooded. Anyway, some people are laughing at the Red Sox for not doing anything. Well, technically anything. Cerrone, you are not in agreement with that, and a lot of people are on your side too. Wait and see. Let's go to LaCar in Boston. LaCar.
Hey, what's happening, Leroy?
What's up?
I just heard you saying you're walking to Belmont to Dorchester.
Yes, sir.
And you only need some change.
Yep.
Well, if you want change, just change your mind. That's your change.
Okay. All right.
on the Red Sox, why y'all saying what you're saying? I mean, by this evening, they could overtake the Yankees for between them two for like first place and so. And on top of that, would you be honest with yourself? Nobody expects the Red Sox to do as good as they're doing now.
Appreciate it, LaCar. I'm sorry. Like half of what he was saying was breaking up. So
I think he's talking about the expectation. Like no one was expecting them to be as good as they are now. And I think the expectation changed, what people expected them to do during this deadline. But hey, the Red Sox ain't had no change to make no deals. But guess what? They got home. They got a chance to get home.
Okay, I like
That's all
that.
that matters. As long as the end result is all that matters to this.
And we got to wait and see.
All the teams that made deals.
Yep.
Let's say one of them wins the World Series. Would you call the others failures for not winning? Even though they made the deals, they sacrificed the future, the prospects, whatever. Are they considered failures if they make all these moves and don't get anywhere? Especially if they don't get as far as the Red Sox did without making any moves.
I remember like the random rentals, like the CC Sabathia had that hot season for Milwaukee. He ended up, I think, pushing them into the postseason that one time. Or Carlos Beltran, that half season with Houston. He's in the Houston Astros. So there's like these little like memorable things. I think Randy Johnson also had a half season in Houston, but that was like late 90s post Seattle, but before the Arizona days. So yeah, there are some trades right there. There's only going to be one winner. But I guarantee you can point to that winner and be like, oh, they did this, this, and this at the deadline. And then, okay, that helped to kind of nudge them over the top.
Hey, George, I just want to ask you real quick. What could the Red Sox have done that would have made you walk in here today with a smile across your face?
It honestly would have been the false reporting and damn Fox Sports and Yahoo Sports. Joe Ryan, I would have loved to have that kind of a stud pitcher to be right behind Garrett Crochet. We need more than Crochet. Otherwise, and I was telling you guys during the break, this kind of Red Sox team remind me of the 98-99 Red Sox where you just had Pedro and Bust, the Brett Saberhagens, and Eckersley might have been on his back end for his second time go around for his Red Sox retirement tour. So, and then on the lineup perspective, we had Nomar and then Bust. We're not going to count Reggie Jefferson and Troy O'Leary and the John Valentins on his back end of his career. God bless him. It took time to get Manny and that big thumper in the lineup, and then Ortiz in 03 and Bill Miller and the Kevin Millars of the world, the Johnny Damons, and then the development of Derek Lowe and Jason Varitek to kind of and push us over the top. I think the expectations has kind of been so roller coaster for the Red Sox because for the first time going into this season, we had high expectations and hopes. And once they shipped Devers out, it was like, oh, what are we doing here? And then we kind of tempered expectations. It's like, oh, now we're happy-go-lucky. And I'm just fearful because of the uneventful trade deadline. We're going to go right back into the dumps. So the point you made, Cerrone.
I'll tell you what, though. Last night was a game. That was entertaining. That was exciting. And before we go to break, I'm just going to say this real quick. Cerrone, I have a feeling if this was 10 years ago or more, those City Edition jerseys would not have even been allowed. I'm so glad we live in a different time. Them things look smooth. Oh, my
I tell you, real quick to add to that, my wife, her maiden name is Chriswell.
Okay.
Chriswell's pitching last night. Literally was like, oh, go on MLB.com.
Yeah, she needed one.
She wanted a shirt. And it's like, what about the hat? What about this? What about we start looking at other things on there, and it's like, yo, you're not that far away from still being the team that everybody wants to rock and talk about. Right there.
John Henry hears that and he's rubbing his hands.
Yeah, thank you, John Henry. My wife is
like
she has
Mr.
John Henry doing the Birdman hands. Like, yeah. You don't need much to be a hot team. You're the Boston Red Sox. You just need to be competitive. And I think for the first time in a few years, them sitting 9 games above 500 just late in the year, people feeling good about them. And unfortunately, this is what makes ownership say, "Nah, we don't need to do nothing drastic with this team. We're going to make money off them one way or the other, and we're going to be competitive. If we can be just competitive, we're good enough right now."
All right, we got to take a quick break. Your Sports Hub headlines are coming up. When we get back, we got to talk about the Patriots, plus what we already asked you before, best and worst trades. Since everybody's talking about trades, what's the best and worst trades ever? What tops your list? And what move had you hyped, but it flopped? Maybe even here in Boston. Hit us up, 617-779-0985. It is a common Music Saturday. We'll be right back.
It's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Oh, what a beautiful night at Fenway Park. And it ended in a win for the Sox as Roman Anthony hit a walk-off single in the 10th inning to give the Sox the 2-1 win over the Astros. By the way, that was Anthony's first career walk-off. Game 2 of this 3-game series is this afternoon at 4:10. Also, don't forget, the Speedway Classic is going down tonight as the Braves and the Reds clash inside the Bristol Motor Speedway. First pitch is at 7:15. In the NFL, Cowboys pass rusher Michael Parsons went to social media to say that he wants to be traded. Chargers linebacker Denzel Perryman has been arrested on a felony weapon charge in L.A. We are finding out that last Sunday, track and field star Sha'Carri Richardson was arrested for allegedly assaulting her boyfriend while at the Seattle Tacoma International Airport. Moving on in the NBA, the Lakers and Luka Doncic have agreed to a new 3-year, $165 million max deal. For the second time this week, a sex toy was thrown on the court of a WNBA game, this time during the third quarter of the Golden State Valkyries Chicago Sky game. It's not funny. Sky Center Elizabeth Williams said that it's super disrespectful. The Connecticut Sun could be the Boston Sun real soon as Celtics minority owner Steve Paggs purchased the Suns. I like that. And that is your Sports Hub headlines, is brought to you by Premier Basement Waterproofing. Buying a home or finishing your basement? Do what Beetle did. Get it waterproofed first so you never see a drop of water again. 844-LIVE-DRY or premierbasement.net. It's game over for water. And Leroy Irvin, your next update is in an hour.
Boston's best sports talk. There's an app for that. Download the Sports Hub app for loads of stuff. Absolutely free. Connect with the shows, get podcasts, and more. Get it where you get your apps. Or at 985sportshub.com. We're back with more Leroy and Cerrone on the Sports.
Sterling, I'm upset with Shannon, though. Well, we'll talk about that during the entertainment report.
Oh, because of his stuff going on.
Oh, my God. Come on. And then the other thing.
But you can always listen to them, too, in their conversations on the interview they did.
Uh-huh.
You can always tell Shannon was just a spoiled kid, man, that got whatever he wanted and did whatever he wanted to do.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
The other thing, George, maybe you can do this for me. The Braintree Little League baseball team, I believe their game today versus Maine in the regionals for the Little League World Series or whatever. I believe it happened at 1 or started at 1. Did it go final? Is there an update or can I get an update? Take your time. Do that. Let me know when you can. But, man, there's a lot going on. 617-779-0985. Cerrone, you came up with this question. I love it. Trade talk has been the talk, especially here in Boston, but around sports, around in baseball for sure. Best and worst trades ever. What tops your list? And what move had you hyped, but it ended up flopping? It could have even happened here in Boston. Cerrone, since you came up with this fantastic question, I want to hear your response.
Man, there's so many across all sports. This is all sports, not just baseball. You get the ones like Paul George trade for little-known Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. And it was like, Doc Rivers again, I don't want to deal with no kids. Got Paul George and literally, what was it, like a 4 first-round picks or something like that, along with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Literally built a championship team in OKC. The kid becomes MVP, scoring champ, finals MVP, champion. One of the great trades on one end and one of the worst trades on the opposite end. And look, there's so many. Randy Moss, I think, is one of the great trades of all time. And if you look at like what they give up, it's like, I don't know, but hey, they got Randy Moss in return. And of course, the trades that led to the building of the '08 Celtics, I think, was incredible. The getting Ray Allen, the Jeff Green Ray Allen deal, and Kevin Garnett, of course, waiving his no trade clause, all that stuff to get him to come in. I think go down as the greatest, and I think the greatest trade of all time, keeping it local. Obviously, Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale, Joe Barry Carroll. That's Red just completely fleecing the entire NBA for Hall of Fame players to put with another Hall of Fame guy. And it just, if it wasn't for Magic Johnson, would have literally ran a whole decade of the NBA. So those are, just keep it kind of local. Those are my best trades ever. Oh, and of course, the Herschel Walker trade, Dallas Cowboys. Got rid of Herschel Walker and ended up, again, building their dynasty because of that trade. So, yeah, those are my top trades probably of all time. And there's so many bad ones that we thought were just going to be hot and it didn't work out. There's so many to name, but those are my favorite trades probably of all time that really, really panned out.
Let's go to the phone, 617-779-0985. Charles in Boston. Charles.
Hey, thank you, guys. Great show. How about Heathcliff Slocum for Jason Varitek and Derek Lowe?
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah, and that one was mine. I done emailed y'all. He's the worst closer I've ever seen. The fact that they were able to move, Craig Breslow is something you could learn. The fact that they were able to move, they set up their future in acquiring prospects at the time. Derek Lowe and Jason Varitek for has-been whatever. Heathcliff Slocum, the worst Red Sox I've ever seen in my life.
Dang. Kind of harsh there, George.
He's still feeling that
one. Son in here. You're supposed to be setting an example.
It's more nostalgic because I was a kid, but really, really scorned memories with Heathcliff Slocum.
Oh, my God. I think one that's obvious, none of us were around for it, as far as for the worst, Babe Ruth, obviously. I mean... Yeah. Wasn't it for like the rights to a play or something?
$100,000.
$100,000.
Yeah, and it set the Yankees up for successes. We had 5 World Series at the time, and then the Yankees started winning immediately. Became the dynasty of the 20s, and I'm not sure how many Ruth won, but yeah, with the Yankees, a beast.
Another one that I should have looked up the details on, but I remember being a kid, and for the life of me, I couldn't figure out why the Edmonton Oilers traded Wayne Gretzky, because all I remember was him being talked about in the same level as Jordan. Like he was the greatest thing since sliced bread.
I know. Imagine trading Jordan, right?
So what? I need the details on that too. What in the world would make them get rid of him? That made no sense to me. That's a bad trade, man. But if you got any out there, 617-779-0985.
Bill Russell.
0985. Bill Russell?
Bill Russell was drafted by the St. Louis Hawks, and they traded him.
That was for like Ice Capades or something. Red Auerbach, man.
Something like that, like the rights to the,
all the trades Red Auerbach and Danny Ainge have made, yes, Celtics on the list.
I'm laughing because sometimes there's nothing funnier than actual history. There's nothing more interesting than actual history. To hear what some of these players were traded for is just, it's comical. I found out, and this is something different. I have this thing that I love to do in my spare time, and that's watch where celebrity graves are at. I just do. I watch programs about them all the time.
Little creepy there, Leroy.
Yeah, but I like it. So they go to, this one guy goes to Charlie Chapman's, or he's talking about it. I didn't know that some crooks took his body out the ground and held it for ransom. I didn't know that. But that's my point. History, man. It's the greatest ever. There's nothing. You don't have to make up anything. It's already out there. It's already entertaining, interesting enough. 617-779-0985. All right, these phone calls are going berserk. George, is it okay for me to go to line 2? All right, let's go with Jesse. And I believe in Easton. What's up, Jesse?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I don't know if it's been said already because I just tuned in, but I would say the other Garnett trade that sent Pierce and Garnett to Brooklyn, which got us Tatum Brown.
Yes, absolutely. For some reason, I thought that one was mentioned, but yeah, that's one of.
No, I mentioned Garnett coming here.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
But
yes,
him leaving, you set you up. You built everything you got now because of that one deal.
Unbelievable.
Celtics, man, they just you can build lists just out of them.
Danny Ainge. Unbelievable.
He's a slick dude, man.
Zach and he has an answer for Gretzky. Zach, what's going on?
What's up, boys?
What's up? So what's the deal?
So by the way, Leroy, real quick, I used to live on Mass in Columbus, right off the corner.
Yep.
And I've made that walk, brother. Been there, done that.
So you know the pain.
So with Gretzky, so the Oilers had new ownership, and they were going to restructure everything. They went to Gretzky, said, "Look, can't afford you. We're going to trade you. You can go wherever you want." And Gretzky wanted to go, so they gave him that courtesy, right, to pick the team he wanted to go to. He wanted to go to Detroit. Gordie Howe was his hero, is his hero. His dad said, "Listen, there's only one Gordie Howe, and you're never going to be him.
Oh, dang.
Go to L.A., where you can start your own franchise and you can be the Gordie Howe of hockey." And so Wayne Gretzky went to the Kings, and that was it. But it was the hockey world was in mourning, I assure you. But they handled it with class, and it was a thing that they felt they needed to do. That's the deal with that.
Before I let you go, you said the hockey world was in mourning. Why? If he still ends up on a hockey team, was it because at the time the Kings were looked at as a dismissive team?
Well, the Kings were a fairly new team, but you got to remember, I called in a few months ago about Gretzky. People in hockey are very strange about Wayne Gretzky. Okay, they treat him with more reverence than we treat Michael Jordan. He's like the shiny thing on top of the mountain that you can't touch.
Right.
So when it came to the Oilers trading him, the hockey world was just astonished and couldn't believe it. And obviously in Edmonton, Alberta,
Canada,
they were devastated. But it was a decision that the new ownership felt they needed to make to rebuild the team. The Oilers had been a wagon forever. I mean, there's like 9 Hall of Famers off that team, right? So it was a thing, and it was a huge story.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you for the insight. Let's take one more before we go to break. Best and worst trades ever. That's what we're talking about right now. 617-779-0985. Phil in Malden. Phil.
How's it going, guys?
All right.
One trade that was really weird, it'll probably never happen again, was the Ricky Williams to the Saints one, the draft one, where New Orleans literally traded their whole draft that year.
I remember that. Was Mike Ditka
Mike Ditka, yeah.
Yes. Crazy. Oh, Ricky Williams, man, just couldn't put
trade your whole draft. You imagine if somebody did that today?
Just couldn't put down the smokes. Unbelievable. We got to take a break.
Oh, I'm sorry.
When we get back, we got to get into some Patriots talk. Plus, you guys can still call in about the Red Sox. You can call in about the best and worst trades ever. I see right now somebody has some more Gretzky insight. All are welcomed. Bring it on in. We got to get on these Pats, too, and see what's up. 617-779-0985 is the number. He's Cerrone Battle. I'm Leroy Irvin, and it is 98.5, the Sports Hub.
More Leroy.
Now, Leroy Irvin and Cerrone battle on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sound like The Price is Right. Come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right. I missed that show. Hey, 617-779-0985 is the number. It's the Leroy and Cerrone show. Feel free to call in about whatever you want to talk about that we've already covered. Cerrone, you had something you wanted to say?
I just watched the ending of Sterling Sharp's Hall of Fame thing. I'm sorry. Some onions were down.
You all right?
On my desk somewhere.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
I think Shannon's mess, especially this past week, it taints the moment for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. For him to talk about sacrifice and hoping that he's following a good role model and doing the right things, and he's gonna go out there and do that.
Oh Lord Jesus.
Oh my God! But still,
yeah.
And for those that don't know, who's young enough, who are young, Sterling Sharp was better than Shannon Sharp. Yes, he was. I know they were tight end and receiver. Sterling Sharp was him. And I didn't know until today that have you seen the footage of him with the neck injury? He couldn't move on the field. He couldn't move. He had no control over his movements. He's laying face down. I didn't know once he got himself up after, 10, 15 minutes, he walks off the field and he was like, he knew then that that might be it for him. They needed to play one more game to get home field advantage. He played the next week.
Lord have mercy.
And not only did he play with this neck injury that had him paralyzed, he had 190 yards and 3 touchdowns with a half-broken spine. Then said, all right, now y'all go ahead. Then he has a surgery. Career was over after that. He went out there knowing that he couldn't move just last week and scored 3 touchdowns and had either 163 or 193. I can't remember. He lit it up either way. And I'm like, yo, that's Hall of Fame level stuff. And it shows that it's not about career stats. It's about, how good were you when you were on the field during your time?
Right.
And Sterling Sharp, the only one better at the time was Jerry Rice, and that's it. And Jerry played in San Francisco. Sterling was in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And it's like, this dude was getting numbers back when they weren't really throwing it like that. And that kind of toughness and physical play. Even Deion Sanders, y'all couldn't stop him. It take a lot for Deion to say he couldn't stop nobody. But it goes to show how good his dude was. And I know the younger generation didn't see him and don't know him, but the first thing the younger people do is look at the career stats. And it's like, dog.
That doesn't tell the
At that
whole
time
story.
he was there.
Yeah.
He was him. And for him to get those kind of numbers with a neck injury, knowing he was paralyzed the week before, is just bananas. And what's up with the team throwing him back out there? But that's another discussion.
Well, that's how it used to be. If you're just joining us, we've been talking about a lot of things. We started off the show talking about the Red Sox. Great game last night. It was fun, but a lot of fans are upset that nothing happened at the trade deadline. Not nothing. Let me not say that. Nothing significant.
Nothing major
happened at the deadline. Then we got into the best and worst trades ever. People are still calling in about that. We're going to touch on the Patriots. But before we do that, let's see. We got Ron in Medford. He wants to touch on the Wayne Gretzky question, which I said, I was young. Gretzky gets traded from the Edmonton Oilers. I couldn't figure out why. And I just need some insight. So Ron in Medford, what can you tell me?
How you doing, fellas? Listen, the guy who called, I don't know what he's talking about. I mean, maybe when he was getting drafted, I don't know if he's tipping a little bit too much gin and tonic today or what. But Wayne Gretzky ended up in L.A. because he married Janet Jones, and Janet Jones had a lot of big business opportunities for her in L.A. Gretzky also, when he hit LA, got a ton of endorsements. The tax dollars were much different than obviously Canada, and that's how he ended up there. That's where his wife wanted to be. That's where she wanted to live, in paradise in California, and that's why he ended up there.
Appreciate it, Ron. Ron coming in with
that heat.
Yeah. Ron, if
makes sense, because think about it. You didn't see a lot of highlights of Gretzky in Edmonton. He did all the winning, and he was him. But once he got to LA, remember the cartoon, he had the show, he was doing the commercials. Wasn't he one of LA Gear spokesmen back then? It was like him and Kareem and somebody else.
Yep. I think so.
Like the endorsements, like the fame kind of took. It was like in the NHL fan base, he was the superstar. But I think once he got to LA, being in LA made him a part of the superstars of that generation. Everything was really LA based back then. Sitting courtside at the Lakers and all that stuff, which was a big deal back then. So I can see that being a huge draw for him, man. And the wife,
yeah. With all the trade talk in Major League Baseball and the Red Sox, we said what's the best and worst trades ever. Let's go to Steven in Concord. Steven.
Hey guys, I love your show. I love your personalities. You really work great together, and it's a great weekend gig. I love it. So I grew up, I was like 12 years old in the early 70s when you had the lineup. I can almost see the lineup. You had Yaz in left. You had Tony Conigliaro in right. You had George Scott playing third base. Rico Petrocelli at short, Mike Andrews at second. I can't remember the first baseman or the catcher, but you had pitchers like Ray Culp and Sonny Siebert, Jim Lomborg and Bill Lee in relief. But what they did was they traded my favorite Red Sox player, number 7 in center field. Who was it?
Reggie Smith.
Reggie Smith. He was so good, but they wouldn't pay him. And I think they traded him to the Los Angeles Dodgers or the St. Louis Cardinals. And they got a pitcher named Rick Wise, who was a pretty good pitcher. But they also got this unknown utility player named Bernie Carbonelli, a.k.a. Bernie Carbo. And everyone remembers in 1975, Carlton Fisk waving, the World Series game-winning home run in the 12th inning to go, stay in fair territory.
Yep.
But it was Bernie Carbo who came up to tie the game with a 3-run pinch hit, 3-run home run.
Appreciate it, Steven. You know what's crazy? It's always the person or the player before the big play that gets
never
forgotten about.
I'm the Bernie Carbo of the sports, so that's how I feel.
Well, you just shut up,
Number
George.
1 pinch hit over him.
Let's go to Steve in Canton. Steve.
Hi.
What's up, man? Best and worst trade ever. Doing pretty good. How are you?
Oh, good. So fine, thank you. I'm glad I'm on. Okay, yeah. I just want to say, Lou Gorman, we know the infamous one he made for Jeff Bagwell for Larry Anderson. But I want to say some of Lou's best moves. See if you remember this one. Some minor leaguer named John Christensen, a pitcher named Mike Trujillo, Ray Canones, who was poor oil can Boyd's roommate, and one other player for Spike Owen and Dave Henderson.
Okay.
Remember that trade in 1986?
Appreciate it.
I remember that Dave Henderson leap in the ALCS. I think it was Game 6.
Dang, we almost running out
Man,
of
they
time.
coming with I tell you what, y'all coming with the history today, though.
Exactly. Speaking of history, I was asking about what's the deal with Edmonton trading Gretzky back in the day. We've had 2 callers who one was on one side, the other was on another. Now we got David and Lowell. Let's see how this goes. What's up, David?
Hi, guys. There's a little bit more to the Gretzky trade because if you were owner of the Edmonton Oilers, he just scored 92 goals and had 212 assists. So who in their right mind is going to trade Wayne Gretzky doing that?
Right.
But what happened was Gretzky was good friends of the ownership at the time, and because of what Gretzky had done for Edmonton, he decided to let him go. But as far as the greatest sports trade, we got to go back to when the Bruins brought Esposito, Hodge, and Fred Stanfield to the Boston Bruins, and that brought us 2 Stanley Cups. Thanks, guys.
There you go, Dave. I love that. Nice and quick to the point. Knew what he wanted to say, and
he kind of goes along with the first call said about Gretzky with the ownership just let him go and let him decide what he wanted to do.
All right, listen, you guys can keep calling in about that, whatever else you want to talk about. But when we get back, we're also going to talk about the Patriots. Cerrone, I've had a revelation about us as Patriot fans. And it's not a good look. I'm sorry to say. It's really not a good look. I'll let you guys know what that is when we get back. It's Leroy and Cerrone, 9-5 The Sports Hub.
listening to Two local guys, lots of local sports talk. Leroy Irvin and Cerrone battle on Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You got $60 million. He's a top-tier receiver. He's a 1,000-yard receiver every time you do it. That's a layup.
You have the money to do it. You still have a need. Stephon Diggs is not a number one at this stage of his career. He is coming off an ACL injury. He is into his 30s now. McLaurin gives you real juice. He gives you some speed on the outside. He gives you consistency. Somebody who's been a 1,000-yard receiver every year. The last 5 years, I believe it is. The only time he didn't get there is he had a 900-yard season as a rookie back in 2019. So to me, you pay the man his money. I would be willing to give up a second-round pick. That's, I think, what the Patriots would have been willing to give up to get DK Metcalf. That's what the Steelers gave up to get DK Metcalf. I think the Patriots were interested in him. They found out that he wasn't going to be signed.
Players, Terry, McLaurin, and, Parsons, and what the Pats should do and all this stuff and whatever. And before we get into it, remember, you can call in and talk about anything that we've been talking about. I see the phone lines. I promise you guys I'm going to get to this. But Cerrone, I had this revelation as a Patriots fan. And the more I thought about it during the break, I realized I might sound like a hypocrite because of what I just said about the Red Sox. But okay. I realized that if every available player sparks us all to go get him. You've been on social media. Every time a player becomes available,
doesn't matter who it is.
Doesn't matter who it is. Pats, go get him. Here you go, Pats. Vrabel, go grab him. Let's go. And this has been going on for a few seasons now.
Roughly since Tom Brady left.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So if every available player does spark that out of us, doesn't that suggest that we don't fully believe in the current roster?
Yeah.
And it's like, are we thinking strategically or are we thinking like, is it all panic?
It's unfortunately, we've become what we've laughed at with the Lakers fan base. Because every single time a player becomes available, people don't just say he's going to play with LeBron. Like, they literally put the graphic together with the dudes in the shirts. Like, Giannis, you hear he's not happy. Giannis is going to LA.
Yeah.
Westbrook, this guy's going to LA. Dame's going to LA. So-and-so's going to LA. And we laughed at that, but now we do it with the Patriots. Was anytime Parsons, the minute we found out, was, go get him. It's like, you would just rank the top 10 defense. Like, okay, so whose spot is he going to take? I get Parsons a great player. I get McLaurin's a great player. But sometimes you have to stop and think, wait, why do the dudes who they play for don't want these guys anymore? You know what I'm saying? Like,
or why are there issues? Why is
there issues? Why is there, and yes, you have the money, but do you want to spend, if you got a team with needs, do you want to pay a receiver $35-40 million a year? Like, no one stops at these. Go get him. Just go get him. Make it happen no matter what. And this is the question I really would ask. If you find right now when we was on there, it'd be great for us, by the way. If we got breaking news, the Patriots traded for McLaurin and Parsons, would they be favorites to win the Super Bowl? Would both of them? Probably not. But we'd be excited. Same thing with the Red Sox. We made a move. We got names. We're in the news. But come playoffs, Lamar Jackson going to run all over you. Josh Allen going to do Josh Allen things, and Pat Mahomes going to be, Pat Mahomes. That's what it comes down to. It's like you can make all these moves. You can bring all the names and all the plays you want. At the end of the day, if Drake May isn't Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes-esque, you ain't going to win. It's not going to – it's just the way it is. It's the way it's set up. We should know that better than everybody else because we had – Jesus Christ himself playing quarterback for the Patriots the past 20 years, and we saw the results. Quarterbacks make the huge difference. Parsons in Washington, they weren't good the years he was there. The 1 year they were good, guess what was the difference?
Quarterback.
They had Jaden Daniels.
Yep.
Parsons, wasn't he there last year? Wasn't he in Dallas?
Yes. Yep.
He played all year, right?
Yep.
They were the 30th ranked defense? Yeah, they were a terrible team. He was still there. Didn't make a difference because they didn't have Dak Prescott. The quarterback makes a difference. You can bring in Parsons. You can bring in McLaurin. None of this matters if we don't know if Drake May is really him or not.
It goes back to what you said last week. You said all the focus more so should be on Drake May in the offensive line and the front seven.
Front seven.
Defense. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
No, Parsons plays into that front seven. I wouldn't be mad if they got him, but I think we need to stop every single time a big name becomes available. We're like Christian Wilkins last week. It was all Christian Wilkins.
Oh God!
So you found out that the locker room he made maybe some things off the field.
I still have questions about that. Tickling and not that. But what else did he? Something else. What did they say he was doing? Oh, he kissed someone on the
heads. Yeah,
kissing somebody in the head. Then you had the stuff with Josh Allen. Then you had the stuff with another guy.
Oh yeah.
And then in the pod. Then there's a couple of videos of him doing the same thing in college. He might just be a class clown. But with that attitude mesh with what Vrabel's trying to do with this team, trying to make them a mature veteran team with a good, solid locker room.
Right.
Do you want to bring the class clowns in?
And I guess my confusion is I hear a lot of Patriot fans say, hey, this is a playoff team. Believe it or not, there are some people who think that they're headed that way.
I think they're heading in the right direction.
But then every time a player becomes available, you hear people say, go get him. And I was just like, wait a minute. If we say that every single time a player becomes available, then we're low-key saying we really don't believe in the team at all.
You're basically saying Christian Barmore and Milton Williams and Keon White, they all trash.
Yeah. Let's see
what we got to throw one of them to the bench so we can put now. Parsons with a good team, I think he helps out a lot. I think he's an impact player. But here's the thing that comes with somebody like Parsons. McLaurin, I know the conversation started with McLaurin. He's a receiver. You need receiving depth. We all understand that. I think he'd be a better fit and matchup for what they need. Whatever. One thing you got to realize with Parsons that I don't know if the fans really want, or especially us, the media. He is very outspoken. He's going to speak his mind. He's going to say whatever. He's going to call out media. He's going to call out the team. He's clearly going to call out ownership if he don't like what's going on. Be careful what you ask for with some of these superstar players. Just be careful what you ask for, because the minute things go south, this man is going to go on his podcast and tell you about it. That's the thing that you got to watch with a lot of these guys. They're talented on the field, but there's other things and other reasons behind the scenes where people aren't so quick to give them the world and make them the face of their franchise.
Let's go to Stanley, who's been waiting on the phone patiently. Stanley, we appreciate you, and he wants to talk about the Patriots, and let's see what he has to say. Stanley.
Gentlemen, it's been a while. The last time I talked to you, my son was 1, and to the gentleman in the studio, time goes by fast.
It does.
Enjoy it while you can. I got my kiddo calling me on the phone at random times at work from 11 to 7. So, best thing ever. First things first, I'm going to speak on my former high school teammate and also roommate, Christian Wilkins.
Okay.
He's a model citizen. Listen, he's a model citizen. He's goofy. I mean, he's not weird or anything like that. He's just a little overzealous. When Mike Vrabel came down to Connecticut to watch him practice, I mean, the guy loved him. I wouldn't see any reason why he wouldn't bring him back. Excuse me. But back to the McLaren and Parsons things. Parsons should have had an extension 2 years ago, and Jerry Jones is playing around. That's one. Two, it makes sense for Parsons to leave because Dallas is not going to sign him to a long-term deal and put themselves in cap hell for no reason because they already solidified Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. And you when you build a team, you build it either between your wide receiver or your quarterback. So that's that. Number two, McLaurin makes sense for the Patriots because Drake. You believe in Drake May. You drafted him number 3 overall last year. It just makes sense. You have Kendrick Bourne, who's a locker room guy who tore his ACL last year or the year before. And then you have Jalen Polk, Javon Baker, who are guys that you're not really keen on right now, especially in this new regime. And I think it just makes sense to trade those guys and Cole Strange because Cole Strange is not making this team. You not only help Washington solidify their offensive line, you also at least give the same value in regards to McLaurin, because we all know Washington, whoever the new owner is, they're not going to sign him long term because A, he's 30, B, they don't think he's not that worth that money, and I think they just overall think they could just move on from him.
Appreciate it, Stanley. When we get back, we'll continue the conversation. Patriots talk. Also, there are people still calling in with their best and worst trades ever. And some want to talk about the Red Sox, their disappointment or their approval of the Red Sox not doing anything. Well, virtually anything. Let me stop saying that. That's disrespectful to the players that they did get. Anyways, we'll be right back. It's 9-5 The Sports Hub.
Stay tuned for more from Now, Leroy Irvin and Cerrone battle. Leroy and Cerrone on Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Yeah, we back. 98.5 The Sports Hub, Leroy and Cerrone. There's a beautiful thing going on in this studio. To my left, George, I love you. I appreciate you. But right now, all the love and attention got to go to your son, George the Third.
Appreciate that.
Cerrone, this is why I'm smiling so hard, because it's refreshing to see he's a boy, but he's bopping his head to the beat. He knows what's up.
I'm raising him right.
You raising him right.
He was all up in that Slum Village and stuff, too. Selfish is one of his tracks. Oh, I'm raising him good.
It is a common music Saturday. And speaking of young people, of kids, George, I asked you earlier, I know Braintree American Little League was taking on Maine in the New England Regionals. It started at 1. Do we have a final?
We certainly do have a final. It is a 15-0 final. Massachusetts Braintree over Maine. Let's go. One leg down, baby. 1-0 in the regional play for New England.
That's what's up. Congratulations to those young men. That's what's up.
Yeah, Vermont is the only. They had defeated New Hampshire earlier in this, these rounds. So off to an early start. Vermont and Braintree, Mass. Let's go.
Yeah, sometimes we can be a little bit too hard on the youth. We got to give them credit. We got to show them love.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal work. George, you're doing a phenomenal work with George the Third. George the Third, you keep feeling the music that you like. You bop your head. Please keep doing that. Anyway, 617-779-0985 is the number. We're also on YouTube Live. I forgot to say that. People are still calling in about trades. The best and worst ever. George, you said someone hit you up on Twitter?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you could tweet at the show and myself at Georgie Sepulveda. But I did have Kevin. Shout out to Kevin. He suggested a big one. Red Sox on kind of the losing end on this one. But Jeff Bagwell. Jeff Bagwell for relief pitcher Larry Anderson.
Oh, wow.
What were we thinking?
That's a good one.
Let's go to Troy in the South End. What's up, Troy?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I really enjoy your program.
Oh, appreciate it. Thank you for calling.
I want to discuss, number one, about probably the best trade, I believe, ever outside of Babe Ruth was a trade that the Celtics pulled off in 1956, I believe it was, for Bill Russell and K.C. Jones, for Easy Ed McCauley and Cliff Hagan.
Yes, sir.
And that precipitated a 13-year championship run.
Yes, sir.
And that was done by Red Auerbach. And we used to go to the games quite a bit, walk up to from the South End to the Gardens and sit up in the heavens and watch the games.
Wow, that's what's up. Thank you, Troy. Thank you so much. Troy, call in anytime, please, man.
Shout out to the South End. That's home. That's where I grew up.
He was running.
That's
in
where my
the streets,
people grew up. Went to church, Tonkin Baptist. I hear you. Shout out to the South End and everybody down there, and that's home for me.
Today's like today is a perfect day to be in the South End. It's summer, but it's got that crisp fall feel, but with a little bit of heat.
South End, if you shout out to Sparrow Park. That's where I learned to hoop. Good as I am. It's a lot of great hoopers in the South End. South End Cathedral, a lot of hoopers come out of there too. But that whole area, when the leaves start to change, it looks good.
Oh man,
it looks dope when it's snowing down there.
Yeah.
Summertime, I grew up in the summertime when all the fire hydrants are open and all that stuff down there. That's another story, but that's all illegal stuff now. But shout out to the South End. If I ever make it big, I always say to my wife all the time, if I ever make it big enough, I'm still going to give me a brownstone in the South End. That's always been a dream of mine to own one. And one of those South End, I know they're like, bond the cost of IBM or Mercedes right about now, but I'm still going to get one. I'm going to get one day.
My daughter wants to get one of them too.
I want the whole thing. I don't want a floor. Yeah. I want the whole thing.
The whole thing. Let's go to Carl in Kingston, New Hampshire.
Tell Princeton I'll go half.
All right. Best trades, worst trades ever. Carl.
Yeah, so the worst trade is from the guy that taught us negativity sucks, Rick Pitino.
Mm-hmm. And which one?
We drafted him number 3rd, Chauncey Billups, and we traded him with D. Brown for Kenny Anderson and Popeye Jones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one hurts.
But
Zan Tabak. I remember specifically. I love lefty Kenny Anderson, but yeah, definitely we waved the white flag a little too quick on Chauncey.
Cerrone, at the end of the day, the team didn't win. That's all I'm saying. I know they got close. And
they didn't win at all. I wasn't going to say it was a good try. I was about to say that wasn't the only fumble.
Yeah,
Joe Johnson.
That's right.
They got rid of ISO Joe too.
Right.
Do you throw Ron Mercer in that or no?
I would have, because I think the injuries caught up with Ron Mercer quickly. But that team, it was
Walker,
Rick Pitino. About to get mad. Rick Pitino, and I think Chris Wallace was the GM. Was one of the GMs at the time. Was a GM or whatever. But that little core, those two, these are the guys that they had in house and got rid of. Chauncey Billups, he's Hall of Fame, I believe.
Yep.
ISO Joe, 20,000 points. We all know about ISO Joe.
Yep.
Ben Wallace.
Yeah, true.
4-time Defensive Player of the Year. Hall of Fame, I believe. They had Ben Wallace in. He ends up in Washington. They let him go out of the system. I think they ended up choosing Walter McCarty instead of him or something like that. They kept Walter, got rid of Ben Wallace. Bruce Bowen was a part of that.
That's right.
They had Bruce Bowen, who ends up being, was he Defensive Player of the Year or something like that? I know he was all defense with Spurs.
He was up there, yep.
He was on that squad as well. And one that goes under the radar, I believe they traded or had Andre Miller and traded him for Vitaly Potapenko. So you would have had, potentially, at your point guard, Andre Miller, Chauncey Billups, your points. 2, ISO Joe Johnson, Ron Mercer. 3, Paul Pierce. 4, Antoine Walker. 5, Ben Wallace. And Bruce Bowen coming off your bench as your 6th man, along with, Andre Miller or something like that as your backcourt. That's your team. They would have won the championship with no doubt in my mind. Joe Johnson, Chauncey Bill. Because think about it. Detroit wouldn't have had Chauncey or Ben Wallace. They would have been Celtics.
Celtics, yep.
With Paul Pierce and Antoine Walker.
And Bruce getting them with the Spurs.
Oh, I'm starting to get sick.
It's the returns were just horrendous as well. I mean, the Joe Johnson, I remember Tony Delk. I had to look it up. The ghost of Randy Brown. No. He was shipped for Rodney Rogers and Tony Delk. Are we getting rid of Joe Johnson for that? What are we doing?
Wow.
You can put the worst trade list. You can put them late 90s, early 2000 Celtics right on the list and put numerous moves that they absolutely. And they had the guys in house. You had Ben Wallace there trying to make the team, and you got rid of them.
I'm so glad we talked about the Celtics because we got to take a break. You get your Sports Hub headlines, but when we
from the Telter Tire Studios, it's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Matt. Paisley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, let's talk about it. Beautiful night at Fenway Park. It ended in a win for the Red Sox as Roman Anthony hit a walk-off single in the 10th inning to give the Sox the 2-1 win over the Astros. By the way, that was Anthony's first career walk-off. Game 2 of this 3-game series is this afternoon at 4:10, so in about 9 minutes, go Sox. Also, don't forget, the Speedway Classic is going down tonight as the Braves and Revs clash inside the Bristol Motor Speedway. First pitch is at 7:15. Now moving on in the NFL, Cowboys pass rusher Michael Parsons went to social media to say that he wants to be traded. Chargers linebacker Denzel Perryman has been arrested on a felony weapon charge in L.A. In the NBA, the Lakers and Luka Doncic have agreed to a new 3-year, $165 million max deal. For the second time this week, I don't know what's going on, but a sex toy was thrown on the court of a WNBA game, this time during the third quarter of the Golden State Valkyries Chicago Sky game. Sky center Elizabeth Williams said that it's super disrespectful. I don't know who's doing that or what. It's corny to me. The Connecticut Sun looks like they're going to be the Boston Sun. I have a feeling they'll change the name, but regardless, Celtics minority owner Steve Paggs has purchased the Sun. So we'll see what happens. The Sun, not with an S. That's the Phoenix Suns. This is the Connecticut Sun, no S. And George, if you would jump on the mic. Little League Baseball, Braintree America did what to Maine today?
15-zip.
There you go. Shout outs to Braintree. And that's your Sports Hub headlines. They are brought to you by John's Sewer and Drain Cleaning. 24-hour on-call service for your clogged drain emergencies. Go to johnsewer.com. I'm Leroy Irvin. Leroy and Cerrone will be right back.
No matter where you go, you're always connected to Boston sports with the 98.5 The Sports Hub app. Download it wherever you get your apps today. Taking your calls, giving hot takes. Leroy Irvin and Cerrone battle on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Jason is working every single day. He has literally been here every day, except he took a few days break. But when he takes a few days break, Nick goes with him. So he's still working every single day.
Welcome back, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Leroy Irvin, Cerrone battle. George and George III behind the glass, and you, the wonderful listeners, our friends, our family. Hit us up, even if it's just to say hello. You know, my mother has called up before just to say hi. And it's okay. 617-779-0985. There's a lot going on in sports right there. Jason Tatum. There's some talk that this young man could be good to go earlier. Which, by the way, just want to remind you, we did have a doctor, a physician on last week to talk about how the medical world, things that are going on in medicine are further ahead than most fans, including ourselves, than
I was
we
tuning
know.
into that. Shout out to Douglas Como over there and his ascension over there to BC and the medical staff over there.
That was great. We're going to talk about that. But before we do that, we got to do the entertainment report. If you would, George, let's do it. This is going to be quick because I can't wait to get to this Jason Tatum stuff. Congratulations to Busta Rhymes as he received his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame yesterday. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Good old Busta Rhymes. Moving on. For the gamers out there, Battlefield 6.
Yes, Lord.
Will drop October 10th, but the reviews are already coming in. And many are saying, man, they are giving it an official stamp of approval for being legit. It is most definitely on my wish list, and I would move on, but Cerrone, I heard your energy. I heard your passion. Why are you so passionate about Battlefield 6?
That's the type of game why it's the reason why people buy 70-inch TVs with high frame rates, and people buy surround sound systems or high-end headphones to play stuff like this. That's gaming. And the thing is, we talk about this with music and other things. They took it back to when we used to have fun. We don't want the Beavis and Butthead skins and SpongeBob characters. People want to play the way you enjoyed it. Let's just get out there. Everybody's equal. Let's play. Let's have a good time with our friends, whatever. Play with people from around the world. It looks like a throwback to me and you playing, and your brothers playing Modern Warfare or Halo 2, Halo 3.
Yep.
When we had your mother's house wired up with Ethernet cables and 8 Xboxes, playing Halo during our wedding.
I don't know how we ran a Ethernet cable from the second floor into the basement. Going downstairs.
I think it was out the window.
It was out the window.
I think
it came through the window.
Radio Shack for back then, you know?
Yeah, good times, man.
That's
good times.
And it took it back to that.
We want games that we can play and enjoy without having to buy more once we get the game. We don't want to have to buy, all this, that, and the third just to have a good time within the game. Let the game speak or play for itself, and that's what it looks like for Battlefield 6. Last but not least, some former players got their Hall of Fame jackets today, but I got to talk about Shannon Sharp's situation because it keeps getting worse. He settled with a Jane Doe in a sexual assault lawsuit. Then he got fired from ESPN, and now he's being sued for $20 million by a woman who's claiming that he and his nightcap co-host, Chad Ochocinco Johnson, pushed a false narrative about her after a viral moment at a Usher concert. Now, we got babies in the building today. We got babies listening out there. I'm not going to tell you what the viral video.
I don't think she's going to win that case, bro.
I don't think she's going to win it either. But it's funny when people are down, and I'm not making an excuse for Shannon Sharpe. I just want to be clear about that. But when you're down, man, you better get ready. People are going to come out the woodworks to kick you down a little bit more. But
oh, yeah.
There it is. And his brother goes into the Hall of Fame, and it just... He did apologize to his brother. He said, listen, I'm sorry that all this stuff is going on this week. And he wished that the news of him being let go by ESPN could come out on Monday so that his brother could have his time. It didn't. He feels like he ruined it. And Shannon Sharpe, come on, bro. Got to get it together. And that's your entertainment report. Now.
Too old to be acting like that.
Too old. We were talking and we heard a clip about Jason Tatum, and I'm just going to sum it up the best way I can. Very simple, very easy. Long story short is, word is that he may be ready to play quicker than expected from his Achilles injury. He was seen walking around without a boot. He's been seen around doing things and whatnot. I don't look too deep into that, Cerrone, because I'm not a physician. I don't know. Maybe he's at the right time where he can take off the boot sometimes. I've seen him with the boot on, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But reports are that he could be ready to go earlier than expected. And I guess the main question I have is, if that's the case, should Jason Tatum play? And for me, Cerrone, the answer is absolutely not. I don't want him playing. I don't.
Why? Why not?
Okay, number one, he's a valuable player, and I'm talking dollars and cents. That's what I'm talking about there. But he's also a valuable player on the court, and I want to see him play for years to come. I would just be extra precautious about putting him back on the court.
But is that more fear as opposed to... Look, let's say he comes back. That they're mentioning that there's talks that he could come back, March or something like that. And it seems early, but the reality is that's like a full 10-month recovery.
And I could be tripping because I could be feeling this way, thinking this way, because, again, I am a fan who doesn't have access to we talked last week about this.
Yeah, medicals, yeah.
So maybe he could be absolutely ready to go. And maybe it's just the fan in me that's speaking, but it is what it is right now. I'd rather him just sit, man. I'd rather him sit.
But it's the difference of him sitting. Let's say he doesn't play next year, but then he plays the year after or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is there any difference? Is there any more healing that's needed? Is there any more, like, we're seeing it without a boot now. It's first week in August. You still got all of August. You got September, October, November, December. You going into next year. It's months, like months before he's even close to even touching a basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you wait and he doesn't do anything, well, I know, for him to be on the court in March, he's got to be back to hooping probably by January at least, till we can get back into a rhythm. I think they're going to wait and see how he's moving and how he's responding. And like we talked to last week with Dr. Doug, the mental part of it, how does he feel? Is he ready to explode off that first step, or is he scared to take a step? You know what I'm saying? Is he gonna play with that fear of going baseline and trying to dunk on somebody, or we're gonna see some stopping and popping until he gets over the fear? I think that's the part to worry about. But it's almost like the thing I heard yesterday with we talking about the Sharps a lot today. Sterling Sharp, my man went in broken neck and back, spine, and he came out the recovery. He's, oh yeah, your neck is fine. His fuse is stronger than ever. See you later. And it's like, if these guys are able to fix things like that, I think a 10-month recovery for an elite metahuman athlete, like we say these guys are, with the modern medicine and all that stuff, he probably will be ready to go and ready to get out there with no problems by the time you get into March. Now, is he going to be mentally ready? That's I think it's going to be the tough part. But physically, I think he'll be more than ready by the time you get to that point.
To be more specific, let's say the Celtics are in the hunt. Let's say they're a top 8 team in the Eastern Conference. I might lean towards possibly. I'd still be a little bit.
Oh, you think
nervous.
If they take it away?
But if they're not even in the conversation in March, when it comes to the playoffs, then I'm not playing them. I don't care if they're in the 9th spot. I don't care if they're in the 10th. I don't care if they could be in the play-in game. I'm not playing them. The only way I would even think about playing Tatum if he's ready early enough is if they are, man, you give me top 4 or 5 in the East without him. And I'm saying, you know what? It might be something we might.
I think they will be. I believe they will be. I think they're going to be a top 5 team in the Eastern Conference. I don't think that'd be too hard to do. But here's the thing. Just playing devil's advocate here. I mean, I understand. You want him out there so you can help win championships.
Right.
We can't take personal part into it or how we feel about him, his long, prosperous career. Your goal as a professional athlete is to get out there as fast as you can and win championships. So you basically, if you're a top 5 team or whatever, you feel like you make a run with him, you're getting a top 5 player in the league, all NBA, first team, you're getting this kind of player back. Are you willing to tell the rest of the team, we're going to sacrifice this season?
Right.
Because we don't know about how he feels about his foot. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you go to Jaylen Brown and say, hey, man, we're going to take away a year of your season to make this whole thing meaningless because we're worried about him.
Well, no, I'm not saying they should do that. I'm saying that they should give it their all, play extremely hard. But if they so happen to do all that and still end up on the outside looking in around March, then I'm like, nah. But if they do if they go above and beyond, or if they do what you think they can do, and they end up being a top 5 team in the East around March, then I'm like, you know what? I might be okay with that.
We all know how good he is. I think Tatum is really good. I think he's top 3 in the NBA, honestly. I think he's that good that if they are sitting at an 8 seed, adding Jason Tatum to your team makes you the best team in the Eastern Conference. Like, it doesn't matter what it's take Akeem Olajuwon off the Rockets.
Yep.
Throw him on any team as an 8th seed, and they're going to make a run. I think he's the type of dude that, first of all, you're getting a Jason Tatum. Yeah, he might be nervous about the Achilles, but the whole rest of his body and stamina is maxed out. He's Iron Man after he got hit with those. When he got the lightning.
Oh, yeah.
And everything charged up was like, oh, okay. You're getting Jason Tatum now who doesn't have 80 games of wear and tear on him. You're getting him now where his stamina is maxed out. His strength is maxed out. He doesn't have tired legs or anything. You're getting this dude, and the guys he's going against have gone through the gauntlet of the season, and you get a fresh Jason Tatum to inject it to your team? That's going to be hard to pass up. But I get it. If you're out of it, then you might as well just be out. At that point, you might sit Jaylen Brown too. But I think if you're there in the mix, top 5, and I think they will be, I think you got to throw him out there. Now, throw him out there in March? No, I'd wait till April. I'd wait till we're about to go into the playoffs. I hold him out as long as I can, but then I'm throwing him out there, and we're going to make our run for it. I mean, unless if there's any question of where he's not 100% with that Achilles, I'm not even putting him out there to practice.
Right.
He better be 1,000%. If he's not 1,000% by Christmas, I'm shutting him down. You know what I'm saying? Like I need some assurance that he is him by the time we get to Christmas. Or if not, I'm not putting him out there.
All right, let's take another quick break. 617-7790.
More Leroy. Leroy and Cerrone on the Sports Hub.
I'm Leroy Irvin. He's Cerrone Battle. Cerrone.
Classic.
I sent you something on Instagram in your DMs.
I seen it.
Okay. I gotta say this, and I'm gonna use it as a way to get into something else. So just bear with me. Congratulations to Antonio Gates, who went into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He deserves it. I mean, I remember during fantasy football, you couldn't go wrong picking him every single season. He was guaranteed to put in work and give you some numbers. He absolutely deserves it. And low-key, I wish he could have won a Super Bowl.
That means we would have got less.
Not with the Chargers.
I
and
know,
LT
but
and
I out of that whole team, I really liked Antonio Gates. I thought that was a cool dude. Basketball player, and didn't play until what? Like college or something, or after? I don't know. Anyways,
y'all were a Gronk basketball player, Tony Gonzalez.
yeah.
Congratulations to him. Now, I sent Cerrone a video that has been shared by the NFL of Antonio Gates getting a little emotional, and he says, Phillip Rivers, it was an absolute pleasure to have played with you. And so there is a clip of Phillip Rivers. Cerrone, I just want to say, I thought that was Roger Clemens.
He does look like Roger Clemens.
I thought
with them glasses and that hat, he looked like Roger Clemens.
I thought it was Roger Clemens. I went into the comments and people are getting on how he's put on a little bit of weight. And I just want to say, leave that man alone.
What?
Leave him alone. He did his time in the NFL. He is retired. He's got a bunch of kids. Let that man.
I'll say he got 13 kids. Man, let that man chill.
Let that man chill. He has a reason. He has an excuse. But then there are pro athletes who don't have an excuse because they are absolutely in the game right now. And one of those players was Luka Doncic. And I feel as though he has straight up finessed the Los Angeles Lakers. He just agreed to a 3-year, I believe $165 million max deal.
Something like that, yeah.
He finessed the Lakers. And here's the reason why. Because before this offseason, Luka was, let's just say he was out of shape. Let's just call it like it is.
He has been since the day he was drafted.
Didn't take care of himself, like you said, since the day he was drafted. But then this offseason, oh, Lord, he done got in shape, slimmed up, going out to, was he at Rucker? Or was he?
Yeah, he was no Dykeman. He was in Dykeman Park in New York. He out there with the people.
He out there. He, flexing and showing and getting in shape.
He was at the Jordan event, all slim.
Cerrone, I'm going to ask this, and this is why I believe he's finessing the Lakers. I have never, ever in my life, I've never seen an athlete who was out of shape, get in shape, and stay in shape. I feel as though he got in shape strictly to get the bag, and now that he has the bag,
oh yeah,
I don't know.
He had the Newports and Bud out last night.
So I can't think of a player who was out of shape, got in shape, got paid, and then stayed in shape. I can't think of any. Not one. Not in any sport. So why am I supposed to believe that Luka's going to be that guy now? I don't.
You got to realize the whole reason he was traded in the first place is because he wouldn't get in shape. And they got tired of telling him to get himself together. And then he showed up for the season all out of shape. And he got I always jokingly say on this show, he's had a rough weekend when he got that black tape on the shoulder. He was notorious. He would throw that tape on there. It was like, man, you just tired. That's all it is. Right. And yeah, he knew he had to show something to LA for them to not do what Dallas did, to show that he's bought in and all this stuff. He's got, $50 million, $60 million a year deal waiting on the table. All he had to do was show that he put in the work in the offseason. He on the cover of Men's Health and all. It's like, man, he just went on P90X for a month and didn't eat sugar. And it's like, yeah, okay, he looks great now. But a couple of things. Can he look that great by Christmas? What does that do for his game? His post game is trash now.
You think
he's no size? Being big was a part of his game.
Yeah, but he might have gained some strength. Let's just give him that.
Yeah. He looked like one of the kids. He had no muscle. He just thin. He looked like somebody who said, let me just shed some weight right quick, like a boxer trying to make weight for a fight. When they just go out and just do whatever. That's got to burn this, whatever.
Yeah. Be jogging, wearing that bag, catching all the sweat.
Yeah, the bag, got the bag on. He's eating stuff. And, he all of a sudden, you notice once he got right, it was photo ops. He's doing the Jordan event. He's the men's health thing. He shows up at Dykeman. He's doing all these things to look good so he can sign that deal, which he signed today, yesterday, whatever it is. And like you said, okay, you look good. You feel great now. What are you going to look like in January? What are you going to look like in March? What are you going to look like after hotel food for the last 3 in the 7-game road trip on the East Coast? Are you playing in Atlanta, Miami, Charlotte, New Orleans? What you eating on that trip, Luka? How is he going to shed is he going to shed the bad habits that have followed him since he's been a professional in the NBA? Or is all of a sudden he's he's got rid of all of that since the season ended in what, June? Mm-hmm. He's done all this in 2 months, and you think his mindset has just changed? I agree with you, Leroy. I don't know if he's going to be able to maintain this, and I don't know what it's going to do to his game. Being heavy, because he's not fast or athletic. Being heavy was a huge part to his success. It helped him in the rebounding game, his boxing out, his post game, playing with his back to the basket, free throw line down on the wings, all played into it. You just got the being out of shape stuff caught up because it looked like he got tired quickly.
Right.
And it wasn't showing it on the defensive end. Is the defensive mindset going to change now? All these question marks are up there, and I don't know if he's not going to revert back to what was comfortable and what he's been doing since he's been in the NBA. I can't trust 1 month of working out over 7 years of NBA basketball. I don't know if I can trust that.
I've seen Zion do the same thing.
Oh man, he looked like Bane
every single offseason. Oh, Zion in the gym, he looking right.
Muscles popping everywhere. He's had the mask on, the sweat. By Christmas, my man was in street clothes.
Now here's the thing: I will give Luka. I'm wondering if he was so hurt by what happened with the Mavericks that it hit him to the core. He's like, enough is enough.
He got embarrassed.
Yeah, and that could be the case. Humbled. But I'm sorry. If I'm the Lakers, I don't know how you give them that money. I mean, maybe they got no choice. Maybe they know LeBron might be out the door, or they know he's going to be out the door soon. Maybe
he took the picture today with the team when he signed.
Yeah,
there's one notable guy that wasn't there. LeBron wasn't there. So the Lakers have no choice but to keep him long term because they're about to. LeBron either way is going to retire eventually,
right?
And there's already talks that he wants out and him being traded. He might not even be on the Lakers this year. So it's up. They had to make that move, and Luka had to do what he could to be the face of the franchise, which he's already. I think he's becoming the face of the Lakers. We love LeBron. It's Luka's show, and they just paid him like he is the man. And the one guy that didn't show up, Marcus Smart, was there. LeBron James wasn't there when he signed that contract.
Oh boy! All right, we got to take a break. When we get back, not too long ago, we asked the question. I'm talking about a few weeks. Is sports gambling ruining the soul of sports? And it seems like every week something comes out that kind of proves or backs up what we were saying. We've got more, unfortunately, but we'll talk about it next. 9-Day-5, the Sports Hub.
Listening to Now, Leroy Irvin and Cerrone battle on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
As a guy that went through, there used to be a big-time gambler at casinos. Like 4 or 5 years ago, I actually had an addiction in gambling. And what happens with these markers, when you take a mark out from the casino, is basically you're getting a marker and you have 30 days to pay the marker back. If you don't pay the marker back, then it's labeled as quote-unquote fraud or you writing a bad check. Because when you go and you take the line of credit, you know that basically what they're saying is you knew that you didn't have the funds. And they recently, over the last 10 years, that they could charge you criminally.
Welcome back, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Leroy Irvin, Cerrone battle. George and George III hanging out, doing their thing. That was Kendrick Perkins talking about his gambling addiction and what he had to go through, what he had to do in order to be in a safe place when it comes to gambling. And Cerrone, we've been talking about this for a minute, especially when it comes to sports gambling. And it's not going away. I don't think it should go away. But I feel like in the sports world, especially when it comes to athletes, more needs to be done. Because we saw story after story. The reason why Kendrick Perkins even mentioned that is because we had Gilbert Arenas get caught up in some stuff. He's saying it's not like what everyone's talking about, but at the end of the day, he still gets caught up in some stuff. You've been hearing numerous stories about athletes possibly betting on games that they were in and things are just being questionable.
Shout out to Pablo Torre and his reporting on all that stuff.
What can be done? Because in my opinion, if nothing is done and this stuff continues and it only grows, the soul of sports as a business, sports as entertainment is literally, I believe, on the line. The second a majority of fans start feeling like a majority of sports is not on the up and up, it's in trouble. Something has to be done because I love sports. I love how it gives me a place to kind of get away from what's going on in the real world. It gives me a break. I want to say I need it. It sounds like an addiction.
Oh, you do.
But
absolutely do.
We need it. So something has to be done. I don't know what it is.
Oh, it's easy.
Something has to be done. Oh, you have the solution.
Easy. Zero tolerance. You get caught. I don't care if you bet $2 on Clemson to win the coin flip against Duke. 1 year suspension. No athlete, professional athletes in those contracts, automatic suspension if you are caught gambling on anything. Anything. I don't care if blackjack, whatever. In the contracts. Say again?
I said pitching quarters.
Anything. If you're on the plane with a teammate and y'all playing for money, which we know a lot of the Bulls are notorious for this, a lot of NBA teams, the Celtics, 08 Celtics talk about it all the time, gambling in the back of the plane, all that stuff. And that leads to beefs amongst teammates. That's one other thing. But in this day and age now, with all the gambling going on and the integrity of the leagues on thin ice, I'm putting in the league. If I'm Roger Goodell, I'm coming out saying, you know what? Zero tolerance. No player in the league. If you get caught, you're out a year. No pay. Pending further investigation, you might be done. Look, we are paying you, Luka, $60 million a year to play ball and stay out of trouble. There's no reason for you to be on whatever app or at Gilbert Arenas' house at the poker table with the Israeli mob trying to make extra money. I'm sorry. Zero tolerance. A certain thing. I don't want you on motorcycles. I don't want you gambling. Simple as that. I don't want no domestic violence situations out of you. You know, these things that keep popping up with professional athletes. You put a zero tolerance rule in there that you do it, you're done. It'll stop immediately because no one wants to ruin, especially NBA players and baseball players making, $600, $400, $500 million, whatever it is. Shohei Ohtani, zero tolerance. No, you can put that on you, interpret all you want. If your name come up in any mess, you done until we find out what's going on, until we decide your future. And I think you put a zero tolerance in for active players, you're out of the league, then I think it'll stop. That's the only way you're going to save the integrity of these leagues.
Now, I believe that addiction is a real thing. I have a hard time understanding addiction when it comes to gambling. So if anybody out there is dealing with that or has dealt with it, could you please just, teach me? Because I really have a hard time understanding that. Like you said, especially when it comes to athletes, you already have millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. And you know that if you get caught, there's a chance you could lose all that. Why is it worth the risk? I really don't get it. Again, if you're a gambler out there, if you struggled with it and it got to a point where it got out of hand, I would love to hear from you. 617-779-0985. Go ahead, Cerrone.
What's the kid from the Pistons? What did he miss out on? Was it Malik Beasley? Didn't he have a chance to sign a $100 million deal? Oh my God. And because he got caught up in whatever he's going through right now, and people don't know, the whole Pablo Torre thing kind of threw everything off. But potential gambling could have cost him $100 million. Was it worth it? He owing the barber, he owing the dentist. Jeez. And it's like, yo, what did you get in so bad that you down that bad? And you're an active NBA player in the 20s with $100 million on the table and you down to your barber? That's you got to look at that. But that's, again, like you mentioned, that's an addiction. That's something that he can't get out of by himself. He needs help. And not just him, other athletes who are, Morris, all the millions of dollars he's made, whatever. And like he said, that was the whole bad check thing, whatever, but he's just getting lines of credit from the casino. And it's like, dude, you make more than that a month. But it's an addiction and it's something that these guys need help with. But I think, for the NBA and the NFL, all these leagues, all of them, to save their integrity. NCAA too now. Players get caught. Keyshawn Booty, didn't he have a situation at LSU? Zero tolerance. If you're one of these guys, NCAA, NFL, NBA, NHL, NASCAR. I didn't know until I moved to the South. NASCAR is a major, major sport that people gamble and bet on. Huge. I didn't know it was that big until I got down here. Any of these guys, if you want to save the integrity of your leagues, you got to implement some zero tolerance, and you have to go for help or counseling to get yourself back in the league.
And the leagues need to offer that help too. They might be offering it already, and we don't know. It might
be there, right?
Because we've heard about, before a season might start, they might have these programs, or especially when rookies come in.
The seminars they got to go through. Yeah.
So they give them that, but it's I'm scared, man.
Have the help available for them.
I'm scared. The sports industry is on the line. It's on the line. Anyways, let's take a break. When we get back, we are.
Stay tuned for more from. Sports Talk.
Leroy Irvin and Cerrone battle
On Boston's home for sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
We're probably different personalities, and I think that's probably the thing I appreciate most about him. He's always trying to learn and gain knowledge, different ways about building a team, about strategy, about scheme, about inspiring players to do their job better. So I always love my conversations with him, and I'm excited that he could come out here with his son today.
Welcome back. 985 The Sports Hub. I'm Leroy Irvin. He is Cerrone Battle. That was Patriots coach Mike Vrabel talking about Celtics coach Joe Mazzulla. They were able to link up, meet up, I believe, at practice. That's a beautiful thing. When I see stuff like that, Cerrone, I always wish that I could be in the midst of their conversations, because it's very, very... I look at each... Let's just take the four majors: football, basketball, baseball, and hockey. And to me, obviously, they have a lot of things in common, but they might have more things that are specific to their sports than we realize. And I had come up with a question, and I know we don't have a lot of time, but you had also sent a video of Pete Carroll. If you can explain what you saw in that video, Cerrone, real quick, just so we can tie this all up.
No problem, man. Shout out to, Savage and those guys over there do their thing. Social media, great podcast, and he put a video up of Pete Carroll. I can tell you he's talking to players and media, whatever, talking about different coaching styles. And they asked him, how do you compare yourself to Bill Belichick or some of these other coaches in your style? And he went on to break down how you got wide into the spectrum, whereas the farthest end is the military, break you down, put you in the same uniform, shave your head. We're going to yell at you until you do what we tell you to do. Mm-hmm. And then you have on the far end is we're still in the military, special forces, but we're going to break you down to where you can think for yourself and think your way out of every situation. And he said he's leaning more toward that type of coaching, whereas he said Belichick and Bobby Knight are on the far end, whereas he's down the lower end of the mental game with guys like Phil Jackson. He mentioned Greg Popovich is somewhere in the middle. He can go either way. And that was kind of his way of breaking down coaching styles and what kind of coach he wants to be.
So my question is, what qualities are essential for a coach to succeed in each sport? If you had to really sit down and think about it, and how do those traits differ by each sport? And so what I mean is, to me, I assume that in football, you're going to need someone who's more with that military mindset. Mm-hmm. Do as I say. I know that today's athlete, you can't be as harsh as as Pete Carroll was talking about. Some coaches used to be, the Bobby Knights, even the Bill Belichicks. You can't be that way. But then I'm like, man, when I think about basketball, that military thing, yeah, it never really worked. Even with Bobby Knight, you always heard about issues behind the scenes, and then you find out later on there were some real issues behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But like, what qualities should a coach have that are specific to basketball that won't work in football, that won't work in baseball, that won't work in hockey? And I wish we had more time, because I wanted to go through each sport and try to figure it out. Maybe hear from coaches that coach in each of these sports and players and just what works. But you sending that video, I was like, man, we got to get this out right now.
I wish we had more time on it as well. I think MLB managers and basketball coaches are very similar. They sit back and let them think their way through it. Every now and then they hop up, and you see baseball managers, base coaches, whatever, they throwing out their signals, whatever, what they want you to do, little adjustments here or there. But other than that, it's like, oh, you're on your own. We taught you everything you know. You got to think your way through the situation. Pitcher, I'm not going to go up there and talk to you after every pitch. You and that catcher have to figure it out. Basketball players, I'm not getting up every single trip up the court to tell you what to do. Now, that's some of the things I don't like about her, like a Mazzulla type coach. Well, he's never sitting down. He's always this guy. There's a lot of coaches that are like that, successful coaches that yell every trip, dude. Hey, you got it. Hey. He's constantly, back when they used to wear a suit, by the way, bring the suits back. They throw that coat behind them with their hands and hold the suit up, look like a deacon.
Yep.
You have coaches like that, but then you have the Phil Jackson type where it's like, I talked to you on the way here. You know what y'all supposed to do. I'm going to sit here, chew my gum, and cross my legs. And if you don't do what I told you to do, then I'm going to get up. But I'm not doing all that yelling and all that screaming. I think Pat Riley, he was over there too cool for school. Sitting over there, hey, we don't went over this. You're a smart guy. You figure it out.
Am I wrong?
I think those guys win more. Say it again.
Am I wrong for thinking hockey coaches are under that umbrella too?
Yeah, I think because of pace of play. I think now that you say that, maybe pace of play of basketball and the NHL, they can't be up there every single trip up getting in guys' faces. They have to trust you to think your way. Whereas football, every play is a chess move. Okay, we ran the play. Let's stop 40 seconds. What am I going to do? Hey, you come in. Hey, let's run this. Hey, assistant coaches, what can I do here? Hey, Brady, I need you to do this, this, this. You got it? All right, bet. It's almost like a military platoon getting orders in the helmet. All right, we need you to, get upfield and do this, whatever. Get put in order. It's got to be more hands-on and more military with that. But I think one key thing you said, times are changing. I don't know if the military coach is going to exist over the next 5 years. I'm not sure if Belichick's going to be the military guy in 2 weeks when the season starts at Chapel Hill.
I hear you.
I don't think he's going to be that guy anymore because I don't think guys are willing to join the military and shave their hair and wear the same stuff and just be told what to do and not to think anymore. I think those days are over. But I do agree with Pete Carroll. Those are the different spectrums of coaches, and that's a great little piece from him. And shout out to Savage and those guys for tweeting that out and putting that out there for us all to see.
It's something that we can hopefully spend some more time on next week. That's something that's just fascinating to me. I never really thought about it.
Yeah.
Like, are there certain personality traits that fit best for certain sports?
And which one fits best for you?
Right.
What would you take as a player? Like, do you need to be yelled at? Or are you good to think on your own? That's a question we'll ask. We'll get to that one next week.
We got to get into that next week. Right now, it's time for the players' call.
Y'all want to hear my player call? I think, do you want to hear the player call?
Missing out on the Celtics was a huge power play. And I think it's going to be ultra successful, not just in Boston, but in the NBA in general. You saw the fans when they came off of Caitlin Clark a couple weeks ago when the Connecticut Sun came to Boston. They came for the Connecticut Sun, featuring with Caitlin Clark as the opponent. But coming to the Garden, I thought was a big deal. And I can't wait to see what happens. I can't wait to see where they're going to play. And I think I wonder if they're going to change the team name and what kind of logos and whatever. I think it's going to be a huge success bringing that team to Boston. And shout out to Pags and the WNBA for making this whole thing happen. It's a really big move for Boston. You get another major team here in town, and I think that's going to be fantastic.
And there it is. We are done. Thank you all for listening. Y'all know the deal. I say it every single Saturday. Live